one moment. That didn't go as planned. All right, very good. All right, if you, I'll transmit the photo you sent me to use, and if you want to just send me a little bit of a narrative as to what that was about. I think I got it, and I'll just kind of the highlight is sort of what you were doing, and I think I can cover it, but I won't have a lot of details. All right, well, thank you for the welcome, and I'll be standing by for the next 3 or 4 minutes, and then I'll fire up the net at 9 o'clock sharp in N6 EMF. All right, well, good evening. This is Wilson, November 6, Echo Mike Foxtrot, your net control operator for the River City Arc Slow Scan TV net. This net serves for training and practice in image transmission modes and meets Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock p.m. on the N6NA repeater on 441.30 megahertz. The River City Arc's members and all licensed radio amateurs are welcome to participate. Well, if you wish to use the repeater, or if you wish to join the net or need to make a call at any time, please announce your call sign between transmissions and net control will acknowledge you. If an emergency should arise and you need the repeater, please contact the net control by saying break break. A double break signifies emergency traffic. The net will stand by for you until the emergency is terminated or the traffic is moved to another frequency. Stations who wish to check in are asked to respond with their full call sign using the recognized ITU phonetic alphabet and their name. I'll recognize each station before continuing. Well, any station who wishes to check into the net, please come now.
November 6 Yankee, Germany.
November 6 Whiskey Lima Mike Bill in Roseville.
November 6 Papa Golf Quebec Bob in way northmost Roseville.
Let me go to the top of the list. I think it was George, N6YG. Your first part of your call sign got cut off. Did I get you correct, George? N6EMF, net control.
Roger, Norway 6 Yankee, Germany, N6YG.
Oh, very good. I got you. Thank you. November 6, Whiskey Lima Mike, Bill in Roseville. Welcome, everybody, and good evening. I've also got Bob, November 6, Papa Golf, Quebec. Do we have any others?
KL7HQ1, new in Antelope. We're just going to be monitoring via YouTube today, not connected for digital tonight.
All right, Neil. Thank you very much for letting us know you're out there. Let's give a shout out to Jen, Kilo India 1, Tango Tango Yankee. She and I have been practicing together in the afternoons about once a week, last 2 or 3 weeks, trying to train each other and help each other be proficient at streaming the YouTube for the Slow Scan TV. And she's monitoring as well. She's actually controlling the streaming, but she's not going to participate in the net. So to help each other, she sent me a picture, and I will be presenting her photo. How's that? N6EMF. Thank you for checking in, Neil, and good evening. Do we have any other check-ins? All right, let's get this show on the road. Let's see, George, would you be ready to transmit November 6, Yankee Golf, N6EMF?
I believe I can. Let me change my template because I wasn't expecting to be one of the first to transmit. So, yeah.
All right, go ahead.
I believe I'm ready. I'm going to send a tone first just to verify everything is working.
All right, George, you made a good effort. You made a good tone. Nice work. Go right ahead. right, nice work, George. I was able to copy a pretty nice image. November 6th, Yankee Golf is what I see, vertically oriented. Your call sign on the left black section, and anyway, just a few pixel pops, and I won't steal all the fun away, but what I do see is, I don't know, what do you call them, hens? They're some kind of bird sitting on, perched up on someone's arm, and overall a pretty decent photo, and well, thank you for making a good effort and making that transmission, and next time I'll let someone else narrate what they see from their perspective. But how about Bill in Roseville, November 6th, Whiskey Lima Mike? How copy?
Yeah, it's I had a really good copy at first, and then my program crashed. I'm using the new Spanish version of NS SSTV. So I saw the first portion would look like a very red bird. I couldn't really get a good look at it before the program crashed, but maybe hen sounds about right. And then, yeah, George's call sign was on the left-hand side. There's a few pixel pops here and there, but not too many. Pretty good copy. And, yeah, I'm switching back to SSTV just to finish out the net. But a good college try on the new program, though. But good copy here, and I'm interested to see what this bird is, N6WLM.
All right, Bill, well, that was a good effort you made. I'd like to hear your progress reports on your new Spanish version of the, SSTV. I actually wrote that down as a note, and it was something I wanted to look into as well. So don't give up. Keep trying and at least validate. How's that? One for the team. So, Bob, November 6th, Papa Golf, Quebec. Bob, would you like to, how copy? Oh, go ahead. That's Jen, KI1TTY. Okay, well, everyone hang in there with me while I attempt to give Jen an 8-second transmission, if you bear with me. Here we go. November 6th, Echo Mike Foxtrot. Okay, Jen, I'll stand by. And Jen, you might want to check your receive level adjustment. Should be around 12 o'clock on your signal link. Do you have that set?
Comment.
Go ahead, comment.
On MMS-TV, right next to the spectrum scope, there's a vertical bar. It should say log underneath it. That should turn green on reception. I believe there's a couple different settings for it. If it's not, then, and also if you double click on that, it'll pull up your volume settings. If you just click in that little bar, the log window. I'm not sure if everyone knows that.
Right, I see N6 EMF here. I see the image made its way through, and it's transmitting across rather YouTube. All right, let's see. Where were we? We were getting down the list, and thanks for that effort, Jen. So good evening, and thank you for monitoring and commenting and bringing some feedback. So, Bob, November 6th, Papa Golf, Quebec. I think I was calling on you for seeing if you were able to copy.
No, I don't have it up because of the two pictures that were there, but I remember somewhat. It looked like there were a couple of birds on someone's right arm. Might be chickens, maybe like a Rhode Island red or something like that. Be interested to find out. Quality was good, and that's all I can remember. N6PGQ.
All right. Well, Bob, let me assist you, if I may, sir. If you click on the History tab, you can navigate among, previous photographs using the left and right arrows in the lower left-hand corner of the Receive display window.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, well, it didn't change my memory too much. Let's make it a little bigger. We got a picture of an automobile off to the right, and a roof at the very, very top, and someone's leg sitting there with his arm on it, with a couple of chickens or something like that on them. I'm, like I said, interested to find out what the story is. N6PGQ.
All right. Well, I love Chick-fil-A, but maybe that's not an appropriate reference at the moment for a guy or a gal with their pet there. I think Neil is there, and he's just monitoring. He won't have a picture to send. But, I don't know if you want to participate in the review or the copy, Neil, but if you're are you monitoring via YouTube or slow scan software?
Well, thank you, Wilson, KL7HQR. I did not copy that picture. I was trying to set things up here, so maybe I will be able to comment on the following one. But I got the 8 seconds that you just sent, so it looks like things should be better in a minute. Back to Net.
All right, well, very good, Neil. Thank you for that. I'll check back with you in a bit. All right, November 6th, Yankee Golf. George, would you like to tell us the story? Well, what's up with the photo in N6EMF? Thank you.
Now, I was having a hard time deciding between this picture and another picture, but I went with this one. That's just, they're just two baby chickens that decided to make a perch out of me, come over and visit. They climb all over me, my shoulders, sit on my shoulders, sit on my arms, whatever, my lap, try to go to sleep. They play King of the Hill. Yeah, they'll sit on my arm and try to push each other off. So they're only, about 6 weeks old? Are they 12 now? Yeah, about 12 weeks old. This was sent with the newer version of MMS SSTV. I like it a lot. It works real well. A lot of nice new features to it. With that said, yeah, in the background, that's the red cargo trailer. Be right behind the chickens is a barbecue. Actually, there's about 4 barbecues there. They like to camp out underneath the barbecues. I've taken pictures of them underneath there just for the irony of it all. I'm barbecuing their cousin, and they're sitting underneath the barbecue not knowing any better. I guess with that said, I did have a question for the net. When you start the net, has anybody calibrated their sound card to WWV or maybe one of the aviation frequencies?
That's good. I'll open the floor for responses. I have not done that. This is Wilson on November 6th, Echo Mike Foxtrot, Net Control. I've not done that for slow scan, but I've done it on HF on WWV. So I can't speak to that, but there is an internal sync correction you can do that you probably already know about. You can do slant correction, and I think it's a digital correction. Anyway, does anybody else out there want to respond to George's question about synchronizing or syncing for time, for accuracy?
6WLM.
Go ahead, Bill. Thank you.
Yeah, I've done the WWV calibration, and I didn't notice much of a difference, though my calibration wasn't that far off. I do realize that I have changed the TXCO in this radio I'm talking on now, so I have a frequency stabilization in it. So I'm not sure if that's going to impact my setup with MMS TV. I haven't reconfigured things since I swapped that out. But I did the WWV syncing, and I didn't personally see much of a difference. N6WLM.
Comment.
Go ahead, comment your call.
Yeah, it's just George again.
Hey, go ahead. And also, when you have a moment, Bill, let us know about that radio. I'm curious what kind of dual band or whatever you're using could accept the TXEO. Thank you. Go ahead, George.
Oh yeah, the purpose of that is actually to calibrate your sound card. You should set your sound card sampling rate to 11 kilohertz, and then calibrate the sound card so a 1200 hertz tone is actually a 1200 hertz tone. I was just curious if anybody had done it to save me the work of having to either do it on the air or bring in a signal generator to do it. So once one of us gets our sound card calibrated, once someone in the group actually calibrates their sound card, then they can be the standard for the group and send out a calibration signal that everybody else can calibrate their sound cards, and that pretty much eliminates that slant. That's what causes that slant is the sound card calibration being off. So once everybody is all calibrated up, then the slant issue becomes much less.
I have a musician in my family, and we have a chromatic tuner for instruments. Maybe I can put it on 440 or something, and that's an A, and kind of adjust it. You think that a chromatic tuner might work the same?
I'm not sure. I don't know what the stability is of it, so it's hard to say. Normally, you do what I forgot what the call sign of the other station was, and he'd been around a while too. I should be able to remember that. Generally, use WWV because they put out a very accurate time sync, and so you can calibrate it doing that too. There are aviation frequencies that you can use as well, the ATV frequencies. But anyhow, I don't tie up the whole net with it. I can receive, I think it's like 550 something, 550 megahertz. I have to look it up on the internet. So I will do that, I guess, this week to calibrate my sound card. N6YG.
All right, well, I'm going to switch over to VFOA on the next transmission and see if I can listen for 550. Anyway, that's really good discussion, and thanks for bringing that to us, George. I appreciate that. Yeah, so thanks for the photo. Nice work. Nice to see you coming in. Bill, November 6 Whiskey Lima Mike, would you like to take your turn? Transmit a photo?
Yeah, roger that. I'm just looking. I did calibrate my sound card, but I did it. I look at the default sample rate for Windows, and I have it set to 48,000 hertz. So I don't remember the number you said, George, but maybe after I send my photo, you could tell me what it's supposed to be, and I could probably recalibrate it. We'll give it a shot. Anyways, this is going to be PD120, N6WLM.
November 6 Echo Mike Foxtrot here. I was able to copy a pretty nice photograph, and I promise not to be the first to go, but I will say that I was able to copy a nice quality photograph with the landscape view of the environment with some things going on there. So I'll turn that over to George, N6 Yankee Golf. Would you like to let us know how copy?
Received a decent image here. I've got a Morier pattern on my image, but I'm receiving that with most, so I have to figure out what's going on, what is causing that. Anyhow, but other than that, I recognize this for some reason, and I can't pull it up. I know I've seen this before. That sculpture in the background, whatever it is. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it back over to Net N6YG.
All right, well, that's a good effort. I appreciate it. And we'll jump over to Bob, November 6, Papa Golf, Quebec. And let me see if I can, before I do that, let me see if I can report on any YouTube activity. Jen, it looks like YouTube is doing pretty good right now. It's a little bit of a lag, but it's pulling in from my perspective. And let's see if we can, I see some live chat viewers out there. Jen, if you're able to, would you please interact with the folks out there? I see you, Gary Hayes. Well, good evening, Gary, and thank you for joining the Net. This is wonderful. Let's see. Gary Hayes is the only one I'm recognizing that is out there. And anyway, turning it over to Bob in November 6, Papa Golf, Quebec. Would you like to let us know how copy?
The copy was real good. There's a few pixel pops. You can see a couple of them in the top sculpture piece. And if I can lay out a somewhat educated guess, maybe this looks like Sculpture Park in Roseville off of like near Atlantic Street and the freeway. It's a nice little place to ride your bicycle and look at the sculptures and have a good time. So hopefully my guess is right this time, N6PGQ.
Well, all right, Bob. I can't beat that, so let me turn it over to Bob. I'm sorry, Bill, whiskey, November 6 Whiskey Lima Mike. Bill, tell us what you got on this photo. It's nice work, beautiful perspective. I couldn't have done a nicer photo. Go ahead.
Yeah, Bob actually got it right, very correct. This is Sculpture Park, and this sculpture, though often called the Rose by some folks, is actually called Cosmos. It's a nice giant sculpture you can see from the freeway driving through Roseville near the 65 interchange. And a small history of it, it was made in 1990 by Andreas Demetrios, and they made this giant, it's 80 foot tall, just steel structure, painted red, and I really want to see if it will antenna. So I'm tempted to plug a little, alligator clip to it and see if it will tune up, but I'm not going to go that far. But this is what we did on Father's Day. I've been thinking about making QSL cards. I've been ham a year now. I've gotten a few really neat QSL cards from various countries and other people. So I know I'm overdue to return the favor. So this is my first attempt at maybe trying to figure out if this is a good QSL card, because it represents Roseville, in my mind at least, this sculpture. A lot of people think of the Roseville Rose. When they drive through, they see this. So that's what we did on Father's Day, walked through the park, took a couple pictures, attempted to see if this park was good for ham radio, but it's not. There's an S9 noise floor. But anyways, yeah, it was fun playing photographer. N6WLM, back to that.
All right, well, did I hear a comment?
Rush, KL7HQR. Beautiful picture. I'm looking just on the YouTube. However, I'm seeing it just a small quarter top left-hand side. I don't know if it is what's coming out on YouTube. It's not coming up full screen. And I agree with you as far as the antenna, but 80 foot, I would just try to climb it and put a Yagi up on top of that antenna.
All right, well, I wanted to wish all the fathers out there, or anybody who has fathers in their lives, and to some extent we all do, even if it's a friend or a neighbor, but happy belated Father's Day to everybody out there. And I'm glad to hear, Bill, that you had a great time on Father's Day. That's just wonderful, and so did I. And nice walk in the park with some photographs, mixing together family and enjoyment and all of that. So nice work. And I'm looking at that sculpture like, well, maybe we can load it up with some RF. We could figure it out. What we do is we go up there and we connect the nano VNA to it and figure out what its impedance is for a given frequency. And we just load it up. How's that? Or maybe without doing any extra work, we find out what frequency it resonates on now. And just load it up with some RF. So anyway, that's my comment. I just want to say nice work. Congratulations on getting a wonderful photo out this evening. And just wanted to give a shout out to Jen. Keep up the good work. You're doing yeoman's work. Excellent work out there. So I can see the YouTube is streaming just fine. And we've got a good guy, Gary, out there taking a look. So let's see. I'm going to transmit a photo unless Neil wants to go first.
But I'm not prepared to broadcast tonight. They're just enjoying the watching. And yes, tell Jen that she did a good job. The YouTube picture just gradually enlarged considerably. So back to you, Wilson.
7HQR to N6EMF here. I did hear a double, and thank you, Neil. Did you have a comment?
Very good copy.
I'm so glad you followed up on that, Jen, because I was not tracking with the comment. I didn't realize what was being referred to, so I'm glad you caught that. Thank you. All right, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to send a test tone. I've got a Korg brand chromatic tuner. I got my test tone set for 440 hertz, which is equivalent to a note A on a stringed instrument. And I'm going to see what that looks like. I've never tried this before, but please stand by. I'll transmit a test tone, and then, well, I don't know what's going to happen because I think the tone is 1750, so let me see what happens. Let's just see. And then after that, I'm going to send a photo. N6EMF, stand by. That didn't do what I expected, but just one more moment. All right, that's a futility. Let me stop now. I'll go ahead and send my photograph. N6EMF will transmit a photo. It'll be robot 36. I think that means 36 seconds. Get ready. Alright, that was N6EMF having transmitted a Robot 36 photo. I'll go up to the top of the list. George, November 6th, Yankee Golf, how copy?
That came over here real well. I noticed some echoes around the some of the details in the image, and of course a rooftop and a tape measure Yagi, and it looks like maybe the roof of the Girl Scouts building.
Oh, see now, you have an unfair advantage. You were participating this day. It was anyway, I shouldn't have given it away. Well, nice copy. Thank you for that. So, Bill, November 6th, Whiskey Lima Mike, how copy?
Yeah, very good copy here. I only count 3 pixel pops, but they are quite large due to the, I think, the image formatting, the encoding that you sent it over with. Different looking pixel pops than normal that I received with PD 120, so that's quite interesting. The big yellow one in the right-hand side is maybe the only distracting pixel pop. But overall, a good copy, a low resolution because of just the format you used, but still I could make out somebody on a roof with looks like a tape measure Yagi, 3-element with coax from the center driven element, a long piece of coax actually, has pulled around their feet and going off frame. And they look very happy to potentially be working a satellite or maybe trying to get hit by lightning. So either way, it looks like somebody's having fun working satellites. They're missing the other, if they were put a 70 centimeter side to that tape measure Yagi, they'd really be cooking with fire satellite-wise. But yeah, I wonder if they made a contact with any satellites. N6 to BLM back to that.
I've got one for you, Bill. You said you saw coax wrapped around her, and we call that a humanoid toroid. How's that?
Yeah, that works, yeah. You don't need to make your own, use yourself as a choke, more or less, yeah, and hope the RF doesn't burn you. With the tape measure Yagi, you probably shouldn't be putting more than, like, I don't know, 20 watts through it. I am guilty of doing more, though, with my tape measure Yagi. They go pretty far. N6 to BLM.
I appreciate your comments. So thank you. Bob, November 6th, Papa Golf, Quebec. How copy?
The quality is really good. The pixel pops at the top on mine are black and white, but it's a good picture. Someone's on a roof with, like everybody says, a tape dipole and a bunch of wire at the bottom in the shadow. Good picture, came through quickly, N6 PGQ.
All right, well, let me say thank you, Bob, for your comments. And I got the story from Jen. She took the photo. I'm going to try to piece together the details. It was one morning or one afternoon. Jen, KI1TTY, contacted me, and I think she was with a friend on the building, the top of the building of the Girl Scouts office off of Ethan or 65th over by Sac State. And that day she wanted to test some simplex on 2 meters, I think. And she had that, what that is that's what you call a tape measure Yagi. And it's a 4-element, just like Bill said. It's got 15 feet of coax. I don't know what kind, but Jen tells me the Yagi was being fed with 50 watts. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And so what else was there to this? It was Troop 1089 was the Girl Scouts, and she was on top of the roof of the building, and using a Yaesu 2980. I think that's one of those with the George Foreman grill, and you know, the one with no fan. It's just a big clunky radio that never dies, and I have one of those as well. So, you know, hat goes off to Jen, or kind of kudos to Jen. I love those radios. Just thought I would drop and hopefully not time out. So anyway, Jen is saying maybe 25 or 50 watts went out on that. And so I think it's a fun photograph. I participated in some simplex testing. She tried to shoot into Rancho Cordova where my QTH is, and we weren't able to make contact. I have an antenna here, like a base antenna that's a Diamond X30A. It's mounted about 20 feet off the ground. We just couldn't make contact, and I think she and George were working on it as well. I don't think they made any simplex contact, but we did make contact over the repeater, if I'm remembering accurately. George was up in Lincoln, apparently, so... Anyway, that's the story. The woman in the photo, I think, is a friend of Jen's, and her name is Amanda, if I got that right.
N6YG comment.
Go ahead. George.
Yeah, I shouldn't have given it away. I wasn't thinking. Anyhow, yeah, I did an elevation profile from that building to my house using 2 antennas at 30 feet, and it wouldn't have mattered at all. There's no way that there's going to be an FM contact. She was beaming right through solid dirt in several buildings. So.
All right, well, very good. Yeah, Jen reminded me that Amanda is the Girl Scout troop leader for ARIS, the ARIS program she's working on. And I think I remember now that we had a Zoom meeting and Amanda was on there and I saw her, so now I can remember. I was able to place a name to a face. Thank you for that. Jen is texting me. She's coaching me through it. She's mentoring me. So thank you. And that's all I got. I mean, there's my photo from through Jen, and I think we went through a round of transmissions. It was fun tonight. It was brief, probably just what I needed, because I like to wrap up slow scan by 10 o'clock. So then what I would like to do is, since there's a little bit of time and I really enjoy this group, let me ask if there's any general topic of discussion or any action items we're going to commit to and come back. I heard George say that he would do some work on calibrating, and I think that will be fun, and I'm thinking about it as well, so I'll be interested in that. Did we have anything else? Bill, are you going to take any next steps on the Spanish version of the SSTV?
Maybe. I think George is the real expert on the Spanish version of SSTV or SSTV. He's the real one using it more than I am. I gave it a shot and it crashed, so maybe next week I'll give it another go. I want to see if I can run both versions at the same time and compare them, just using like some kind of virtual sound card. I don't know if it takes full control of your sound card or not. But another topic of discussion would be interesting if you ever want to do an HF SSTV net, or just send HF SSTV images. I know we have the 40-meter net. It'd be fun maybe at the end of it for just one designated person to send a photo, and we could all see how it copies. I think that'd be kind of fun. N6NA back to net.
I actually have worked all states on, I think, 2 or 3 bands SSTV.
All right, that's really cool. That's a fun idea. You know, I had this wonderful thought, which I'm not going to develop, but because, you know, I kind of have these big ideas, but I was thinking, you know, how FT8 works, where all the transmissions occur simultaneously on their own channels. Well, I thought, wouldn't it be fun if everybody could put their images on a ramp and then have them synchronized and be sent at the same time, maybe even at a lower baud rate that would allow for all the images to be sent at a lower baud rate or lower, you know, bit rate or whatever, and everybody gets a whole deck of images at the same time. So I don't know, it just seems kind of goofy, but it seems like an interesting idea to consider. Ham Radio Deluxe, I'm switching gears. I think Ham Radio Deluxe has an implementation of SSTV in it as well. Am I thinking accurately?
Well, I couldn't answer you because I boycotted that program a while back, but they may. They have satellite tracking software in there.
Yeah, it does. I just just fired it up and looked at it. I'm not sure what the implementation is, but it does have an implementation of slow scan TV in it. So that might be another thing to explore, is to see how well that thing is working, if anybody else is using it. I'm sorry you had to boycott it, George.
I was going to mention in this software, in the MMSTV software, that we should all be using Hilbert Transform. And someone had mentioned it earlier, so that's why I'm bringing it up. You should be using Hilbert Transform, and your sound card sample rate should be set at 11 kilohertz or 11.5 or whatever it is. There's only one setting around there, and that's because the software doesn't do a real good job downsampling. So if you got your sound card set to 44 kilohertz sampling rate or something like that, it does cause some issues for the software. Even though the computers are faster nowadays, those older modes were designed for when SSTV was running on much slower computers. So if 20 years ago, if you could run Hilbert Transform, you had a good computer.
Go ahead, Jen, N6NA.
No. If you go into Setup MMSTV and you go to your TX, I don't have my glasses on, doggone it. It used to be under TX. Yeah, it's under RX. It's under demodulation method is Hilbert Transform. That's right. That would be in the sampling rate of the sound card, and I have to remember where to locate that. Hold on.
The only sampling rate I have close to what you mentioned is 11,025.
That's in the software, and I believe you have to do this on the sound card itself. Let me see.
All right, that's worth exploring. So yeah, thanks for bringing that, George. And so, I guess, do we have any other comments we can bring just before I wrap up the net? And I could tell you, Jen, that the YouTube is, we're making some really good progress out there. So, nice work. Keep up the good work, and maybe I'll run the streaming next time, or we get more proficient, or we could do net control and streaming, like our Jedi KP4MD. N6EMF. Open the floor. Okay, 1TTY, go ahead.
N6NA on.
I can do that. I'll just send it back at PD120. Just let me know when.
Yeah. Go ahead, George. All right, Jen, I think that November 6th Yankee Golf's image turned out pretty good this time, so I would agree with you, and I can see that it's making its way across on YouTube, so I'd call that a success, and thank you, George. All right, so let's close the net, and I'm going to get ready for bed, and tomorrow's our garbage day, so I got a little bit of work to do to get those cans out onto the street, and I appreciate the entertainment. I appreciate a good cast coming together, so let's do it again. Thanks to all who participated in tonight's Slow Scan TV Net. We hope to see you again next Wednesday at 9 o'clock p.m. Well, the net is officially closed at 4:57 Universal Time. How's that? At 4:59 UTC, and that's actually 9:49 p.m. Pacific Time. This is Wilson, November 6th, Echo Mike Foxtrot, wishing all of you a good evening. And I know Jen, KI1TTY, has the power to edit out my silliness. N6EMF. Have a good evening.